I mean, just turn on the camera.
We can't just stay on.
I have to be careful. Okay, welcome out to the planning meeting for March 21st, 2018. Our first item on the agenda is public comment concerning any issue not on the agenda. Do we got any public comment tonight? Seeing none? We're all good? Okay. All right, we'd like to excuse Commissioner Norris and Skinner. Who am I missing? Baker. Jay's mom had a stroke, she's in the hospital, so. The other two just said they were missing, so. Okay, item number 2 is the Neff residence. We got that continued from our last meeting. So Kimberly will fill us in on what we got going on now. And I'll pass out a couple of papers. I'll bring to you.
Well, the Neff residents has been working with us on a list of items that we got to them last time, and they have gone through and updated their plans by drawing on them.
So last month, we didn't have, the site plan wasn't sufficient to where the council thought it was ready for you to approve. So they've got out a pen and made it slightly better.
That is what they resubmitted to us.
Where you at, down here?
Sure.
When you get back, they'll be down here. You want them down there?
Unless I need them to, while I'm looking at the plan.
I don't think you will.
So you have setback, you don't have side setbacks.
Nope.
Did you see that? Right. I'm sure you have.
And there's about copies too. The original and all the updated.
So I only brought the number 2, and then just already,
All of those are-
so they should have already seen them all.
Turn to them, goes out, like, put a notice out, or like that. Yeah. That's right. This there's notice house.
So they've got quite a few things crossed off that they had on their list. But there's still a couple of things that we're still looking for, so
Not all the way done yet then.
not all the way done. But I mean, that's a small list. That second paper that I gave you, this is what's left to do on the second paper, so. The first paper is a review. And then the second one is what they have left, just compiled.
My crowd, you out, Tom?
No.
I can
That's okay. I just didn't realize they were loose. I'll be more careful.
The only reason why they're loose is because I unstapled them in order to scan them, and I've been too lazy to staple them back. I can if you would like.
No, I'm just looking for elevation.
Is that the page?
Yep.
So they've gotten pretty close to the 35-foot height,
34 foot, 11 inches.
which is pretty close to 35. So they've definitely went as far as they can with height.
Yeah, I'm just kind of,
But still within the code, so.
be interested to know how wide. I'm just being
wide was.
The house. How wide is it from here to here?
That's the.
I'm sure there's details here.
I think there's a top view there. isn't there?
There's a couple over here.
What would the PCD stand for right there and then the CC? The PCD, or some say, something code. Danieltown code. Danieltown
Yeah,
code.
that's it.
I'm saying,
So this is the front of the house.
Yeah.
just where it's so close to 35, I would just a little.
Are you not where you're supposed to be? Are you in
So
trouble?
from Here,
Jake,
No.
Jake called.
here.
Jay told me I'm supposed to be here,
Right on!
so yeah,
That's what she said, huh?
yeah.
Awesome.
Carrie.
Is there anything on there?
Approximately.
Nothing much, huh?
So that right there is 20.
We're just looking at a set of house plans down by the
35.
Reader
But then
residence,
we also have it.
down on Southfield Road.
So it's
Oh, okay.
38
Oh, yeah.
inches.
Okay.
I was wondering how much height you have.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my mouth shut as much as possible.
If you'll pass that on to her, that's what they have left.
19?
On to, to Jay, okay. Pass on
That's
to-
like
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah. Understand.
So that'd be 19 plus the 2 floors.
It's like a big house.
It is a big house. It's a very big house.
Over 10,000 square feet?
Ah, starter home.
Yeah.
See, I could be totally wrong, but I think it's gonna be higher than 35 feet.
Oh,
Because if this is really 38 feet across, that means this is gonna be 19, and you're gonna have probably 11 and an 8.
Let's look
I
at
don't know
one.
how high they are.
Let's look at one of
Okay,
these.
there they
Kind of
are.
like an engineering question.
you're not starting yet?
I had an eliminate
Yeah, second floor is 11 feet
I
above
see.
the first floor.
I might be leaving. Let me try one. Okay.
Okay.
And it's showing how high the ceilings are.
They won't have a flat top.
Yeah, we're done here.
It's 35 feet from somewhere, the question is from where, is,
Yeah.
which we've had on a number of homes.
Well, I'm
We're gonna
saying, it
measure
looks
that.
to me like it's more like 39 from the floor level of the main
Oh.
floor.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Cool.
That's why they wrote it on their own plans, that it shall not be more than 35 feet. They wrote it down on it.
So 100 and then what?
It could be
Do we have an
fixed.
Here's
elevation?
how, second floor is 111.
Right? But
And
they,
then you've got roof here, which I'm assuming has to be at least 8.
so
So
we'll have
that's
to, yeah, we'll have to.
19.
Mhm.
And then we saw this was 38 feet wide, which would add another 19 feet, which would make it 38 feet above the main floor.
This is true. Let's add a comment, and, I mean, it's easy enough to ask them to add more of those to show us how they're gonna do that.
I know even in some very tall buildings in Salt Lake, they play this.
Well, the biggest place that we need to work on, if this is a recurring problem, is exactly how and where do we measure from. Is something we could clarify to make. these-
But I'm assuming that they're saying its grade level is 3 feet below
Below,
first
but-
level, so that would make it 42.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's so close that,
We
We
need
need
to
to
take a
check
closer
that.
look. I have to agree.
I mean, they can change the slope of the roof and get it back or whatever.
Yeah, if the 12-12 went to a 10-12, the house would look about the same, and it would, but that's, we'll have to look closer at it. Right now, they're showing, I mean, they have the dimension on the paper, right, but it wouldn't be the first time that things on the plans weren't dimensioned correctly.
Yeah, and then we'd be the bad guys when they had it all built and said, well, you gotta cut the top
Yeah.
6 feet off the house because it's too tall.
And we did make the note early on in the process that, you know, they are very close, and it's their responsibility, we're gonna check, you know, FYI, we're gonna check at the end.
And they even wrote it on their own plans. This is not my
Okay.
handwriting, they wrote it.
Well, but I think you have a point, that we can take a closer look at the plans and make sure that it's not an error, because if it's an error and they've just acknowledged the error, then we're all, you're right, it's not gonna go well at the end.
No.
When we go out and measure it, and it's, if it's 35'1", we can work with them. If it's 42 feet, nobody's gonna be happy.
They have some tree trimmers down in California that look like a helicopter that takes the top and just do that with the house.
Flat roof dog.
That would be that was one way to build a flat roof.
You saw that in a James Bond movie.
We did.
So let's,
So maybe you wanna make a note on that, Kim?
so why don't, well, we can check. we
So
can
that, and I'd still
look
like
at
to
the
see
referendum
the
plan.
measurements for the site.
The site plan still needs more effort. They haven't met all the things we asked for on the site plan.
But they did get a bunch of it on there. There's a lot of it they did get. The garbage, the bathroom, 20 foot on the driveway, and there was a lot of.
Right now showing the well, now they're showing the preliminary location of their septic, and they're working with Tracy on to go through it right now. They have contracted with Kimco for fire sprinklers.
So on a lot of these, we get that motion like we had last week or last month on the other one, that we're still working through the comments and we're still not totally happy there yet either, but we'll get there. The question, I guess, for tonight is this one, the site plan now, it's still not got everything on it. Is it far enough along that the commission's comfortable turning it over to staff to get those remaining issues done, or is it still these height restrictions, is listing things on the site plan still, we need to come back one more time?
I think you should come back, don't you, Gary?
I'm not sure. I mean, as long as when they have the site plan complete, that they're, they meet code, I'm not sure that they really care. I just want to make sure that it's done.
And the site plan needs additional items and dimensions on it. It looks to me from scaling it off, it doesn't, I mean, I don't see any impending.
Yeah, I mean, there's
issues.
enough space. I'm hoping they move it over far enough that I don't see the Staker building anymore.
I'll see if I can ask him to do
Yeah.
that. I'm not quite sure how to call that a
But-
code
Yeah,
review
no,
item.
I don't think that's a code review.
Council, planning commission member Wade would like you to move it 10 feet to the left and 6 inches higher.
Can we check it out? Put it on wheels and we'll just slide it where it looks good. No, so, I don't know.
It's on fire all the time.
It's up to you guys too.
Is there some way we can word it to make sure that they're under their height restriction and they can continue at that point?
You can certainly make a motion to approve it contingent upon GDA verifying this item and any other items that you wanted in there, the height, site plan,
The easements.
whatever the list of issues that are still concerning to you guys.
I didn't feel too bad about holding it up last month just because of the time of year, but I'm guessing they're gonna want to get started.
I'm sure.
But we gotta meet requirements, so.
I agree, they're going to want to get started and it would be nice to help them out. At the same time, we gave them the list, they've had time.
That's my thought.
It doesn't give me that much heartburn either way. It would be nice if you guys are comfortable, it would be great to get them going. If you're not.
I feel what you just said. is
We're
that-
not, I mean, they're not gonna go until they
Why
complete.
bring it back to us if they're not, if they haven't done what we asked them to? So that's my thought on it.
So the only, I don't disagree, the only counter is if they can get everything to us in 2 weeks, do we hold them up for 4?
And I guess if it was a lot tighter, they had less space, I'd be more concerned about it. But I know it's gonna fit. And I know you guys will make sure that they're within, where they have to be. So I guess I don't have a problem with it, but we all have to agree tonight, so. Since there's only
Eric?
3 of us.
I don't see it, if they did all the things on that list, but there's nothing else that they need to do.
All right, if you word it that way, I'll go along.
2?
Okay, you want me to try the motion?
You bet.
I move that we approve the, what are we approving, the NEF residents, subject to the items listed in the GDA engineering report, and also that a, what?
Subject to.
To the items in the GDA engineering report. emphasis on a complete site plan and verification that the height of the building is within code.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay, have a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, discussion on the motion.
One other thing would be water. Because I know how the code reads, I don't know how we're enforcing it, because it has, the historical water on it, which it doesn't,
It doesn't?
don't think. No, 40 shares,
They
no,
got
that's
40
fine.
shares.
That's fine, if they got 40 shares, we're good. Never mind. Ignore that.
Okay, they have 40 shares and they're transferring one of those shares into a well.
Yeah,
right
which is
now.
fine. I just heard something big less,
Oh,
but 40's fine. They've got 40 now.
okay. Yeah, that'll be a little bit more than 4 per acre, right? Or 9,
Yeah, it's basically 4 per acre,
so 4.
which is what it originally had before Bart bought it and moved more water down. Anyway, okay.
Okay. All right, any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Squeaker, we got it. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
Now, you guys all got this sent out to you electronically, right?
Yes.
This? It is.
It's all done. That should have been in the first,
Hey, come later today.
no, it should have been the first time we had the video. Should have been in your inbox. I'll resend that to you.
You can see it.
Well, it would come to you.
Well, it may say her because I may have forwarded her. She's the one that did the back, so it probably looked like it just a forward. Okay, so that takes us to item number 3, Highway 40 properties, zone change.
I'm still kind of on the whole pattern with the neighboring property, seeing what can I consider,
Okay, is that a motion to continue?
continue it.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
Also,
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, all in favor? All right, that item's continued to our next meeting, April. Okay, we're to the planner report, look at us go. So here's what we've been playing with. Trying to make head or tails of things.
I know I sent you a lot of emails.
You have. So this is the same one that we did at the council meeting? Same planner report. You need a copy? No, you're okay.
It's the same one, I was good with that one.
It's the same one.
Should-
Okay,
If I was aware of everything at that time, I hope I still am.
okay. I haven't had anything.
We'll see if I remember.
So as you're going through that, I just want to make you aware of a couple of things. Are we okay to mention Mountain Land?
Yeah, we've got a public, we've got a letter, it's official.
We have a letter,
No,
but it's not a clear letter.
It's official, unofficial letter.
Yeah, yes, it's a letter, but yeah, that's one I got.
Okay.
So, looks like we've been approved for $271,000 for the grant up in Storm Haven area.
Was that for the water system?
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's one component of the water system. I would love to say that was, yes, that's for improvements to the water system and then we're done.
That's
but
how I meant it, was
Yeah.
for improvements. but
It's one piece of the water system. We're
So,
currently trying to leverage this into more funding for more things, but it's a challenge.
How many connections are on that water system?
54?
54.
54.
There's 56 spots, but there's over 54 people connected right now.
so
If you look through the documents, it seems to float around the 54 to 56 to up to 60 range.
So that's about what a connection to the dam system costs, about 271,000 is.
Yeah.
And
So, and when they were private, they wouldn't have been eligible to do that, so with the town taking over that water system, they're eligible to do that, so that, I don't know that they even know that up there yet.
they don't, I mean, I let Casey know, I sent him the email, he was on an email I sent with that letter, but I haven't heard back from him, and I haven't gone and knocked on doors.
Probably still partying.
Yeah. Because the ambiguous nature of that letter, I think we probably ought to wait until we have the party, until we actually get funded. All it
Yeah,
says is we're first in line for the funding, it doesn't say that they actually have any money yet.
yeah, there's a big however right there.
Yeah. And it should be in caps, so I think until that however settled, we're on track, it's looking good. We started some work with water rights, because that's gonna be a long lead item. It's either a long lead item or a very long lead item, so in the interest of making sure that doesn't hold us up, I started that. Everything else, I'm kind of inclined to wait on until that however turns into a, we're short.
Till you see some actual money.
Yeah.
And then as traditional with most CDBG projects, we can't spend any money, including design, until it's funded June 1st. But then we have to be ready for construction in like 2 weeks. So we miraculously have lots of legwork already done and then do all the work very quickly. Because that's how we have to do, we want to get it bid out and under construction this fall, that's tight window. Although if we have a winter like last winter, I guess we can do it anytime we want.
Bite your tongue.
Well, you say that, but if we start a well in January, guarantee it won't be like, that's a great way to have a problem.
That's true.
I had 2 projects going for the winter 2016-17. It worked great. We didn't get anything done, but we sure got a lot of snow.
Okay, is there any questions on the planning report for me, for staff? Everything good? We did receive a application for the Mill Road property for a zone change on Huntsman. So we do have an application for that. We'll get that probably started a little early because we're going to probably be with the public hearings and everything. It'll show up on our next agenda. We'll have to recommend to the council a public hearing be set. We'll probably want to double up again like we did. Bring all the folks out once unless you guys feel like you want to do your own.
Yeah, you could probably do 2.
It has not been signed by the property owner, and they said that they were gonna go and get one for me.
Okay, so that'll show up on our agenda next month as we start to work through that process of setting the public hearings and getting the notices sent out. Is there anything else on there, you guys?
What's up with Cow Creek Lane?
Drew Riley says he's under contract on that property.
Oh, so it was just, it's not anything to do with the road or anything, it's
No.
just, okay.
Yeah, he's under contract on that property. He's looking for, he's been in touch with us quite a bit, with me and Kim, probably Ryan, and whoever else he can get a hold of, trying to figure out what they can do with the property. So,
Lots of high hopes,
yes.
like
There's a
most
little bit of
people.
road width problem.
Well, he actually wants to move the road completely. So he's got even grander plans.
Yeah, he wants to make Jack Rose's go up over through Francis, so it'll be a driveway instead of a road. Sounds like, so, bunch of work,
Yeah, if we can figure it out, that'd be better.
bunch of work, so, is that the only one?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay, the Dan Brown, they're on your list, we issued a CO. So we have certificate of occupancy on the 10th of March. We issued the CO for that one.
He was real excited when I ran into him for that.
Was he? He had a few items he had to get through before we could issue, but he got them done, so. We did issue that CO, so 2 of those homes now have COs on 3 Farm Road.
And when he walked in with the last item, he walked out 20 minutes later with the CO, so
Yeah.
we didn't hold him up very much, beyond him getting all the items completed.
Okay.
So the same one.
No, that's a different one.
That's Kurt's.
Clyde's.
Okay? I think that's all we had for the planning report. If you don't have any more questions?
The last 2 items.
Last 2 items. Heber City, public notice hearings in close proximity to Daniel. We're getting notices from Heber City, anything that's within, that Karen thinks might affect Daniel, she sends those public hearing notices out to us.
Oh, okay.
So she's been really good to work on that with us. The Rural Planning Organization, they did a Mountain Land Association of Government did a study, and they're in the process of doing a bigger study, looking at outbuild, how big it's gonna be. Heber City and the county right now are in negotiations, I would call it that, maybe just talks, I don't know yet where it's at this point, but they're looking at annexing all the way up north of town, clear up into what's called the Sorenson property. So
Yeah.
it's a big annexation area, so there's some back and forth about who will provide services and how that will unfold, who can service it. We got their plan that they had just sent out, their capital facility study they did, and they're looking, out of that study, they say they have enough water with what's being converted from irrigation, that they won't even need any additional drinking water for 20 years, so.
How far north does that go, Aaron?
It goes to Highway 32, goes up the hill.
I'm sorry?
That's where the road that goes up to Camas,
Okay.
that far.
So,
So it stops about the junction of Highway 32.
Yeah, I think it goes, well, I think it cuts up on that angle and takes part of that hill, and that's the source of property.
So
Source
they're
is
where
story
the-
about where that development is up there, it's about where they store.
It's not gonna run back towards Old Victory Ranch and stuff like
It
that.
goes clear up on the hill.
I looked at the map and I'm looking like it could almost take Victory Ranch into the,
It goes very close to it, so that's what
It doesn't
they're
go.
taking 32 and headed up towards Victory Ranch, but the last map I saw wasn't all the way there.
so that area where the hydropower building and everything is involved in that?
No.
It's not?
It's on the other side of the highway, they're looking at the high side, they're not looking at the low side.
Okay.
it's beautiful view lots from up there.
Yeah, well, and it was, when that was, development came in, when he was still alive, that was gonna be open space up there, the county holds the title on some of that open space, but that was the worry with the county holding it, is they have open space at the state that they hold, and it's harder to get out. If a county board holds that, and they vote to change that, then it could change from open space, so.
We just need a little earthquake and then it'll have to be open space. Because I figure out that the rocks are gonna come down.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, and so anyway, they're giving us notice of that, and they've invited us into the RPO meetings that they were having the talks on, with Heber City and the county council. There's a lot of things to work out, and I don't think there's a tie-in, but with Mark being changed out of his job, that might throw some things into that too.
Slow some things down or something.
Yeah, city manager, that will definitely throw some waves.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of land.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
One of Heber City argues.
See, when they did the red ledges, they annexed the red ledges, but Twin Creeks provides the services, so the county's providing the services in that area, but it is annexed into the city. I don't know if that's what they're trying to work out on this situation too.
Is Wasatch County's septic or sewer system, all that big enough to handle these kinds of growth? Are they gonna have to,
Heber or?
well, just Wasatch County's
County don't have, it's Heber City.
Oh, that's the counties.
JSSD has that whole plant that was
They
sized
just
for,
accept out of
The
the
offer
city.
was JSSD, but the one, are you talking about the existing one down here?
The existing one like across the
That's
So
river.
they'll take the drinking water out of Jordanelle and then send the irrigation water from the sewer plant down.
Yeah, well, this one over here is its own special service district, the sewer plant over in Midway.
Heber Valley one?
Yeah, so they're their own special service district, and so there's several players in on that one. But they've been looking at upgrading, and they have expanded quite a bit. So they'll continue to work on that. I mean, that's big development there. That could be
Yeah.
quite impactful. So as they reported in that meeting, I mean, they're looking at doubling, so.
They also have all their open space problems.
Yes.
They're just looking at annexing it for right now, and
Yeah.
how many property owners are in, don't wonder, a bunch?
I don't know, the Sorensen, it was a lot of Sorensen properties involved in that, but since he passed away, I don't know who's running that now and what concessions were made.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay. Item number 5, we're looking at, if you guys don't have any more questions, are you okay with that? What we're looking at is these properties that's down in between Heber City and the town of Daniel, so this dotted line. So this now is annexed into Heber City, to that line now. So we have properties here, the Erickson parcel comes clear to here. So we're looking at annexing these properties into the town of Daniel that are on the border.
What is the dotted line?
This is it, this is,
The proposed annexes?
well, it's, what that is what that shows is it's county.
Okay.
So you have Heber City, then you have county, then you have Daniel. So that splits it out. So you remember when they made the town, they come and just drew this line? It actually splits some of these properties, Erickson parcel, it comes clear out to here. So those properties come all the way back to this line. And so this is unincorporated.
So this is the county right here?
No, that's the town of Daniel. This is the
Yes.
county, that's correct. So we have that little parcel that comes along. And Heber City, as you know, have annexed quite a bit of it. And they're closing in on some of these parcels coming up. The problem that they're running into is state law won't allow them to annex a parcel unless they annex the entire piece. So if you have a split parcel that's already in the town of Daniel proper, they can't annex it because they have to get the entire parcel to state code. When they made the town, the county didn't have to follow that rule. They just drew the line. So as Heber City has taken what they can down through that area, we're looking at cleaning up the boundary. And I don't know if it'll be an annexation or a boundary agreement with Heber City. But that's,
The town really can't initiate the annexation, can they?
yeah,
Oh, they can?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially since we're closing in an island of unincorporated. Anytime you can close that in, the state encourages you to do that. So we'll have conflicting codes because of the airport. You're not supposed to be able to annex so far, but then the other code says that you can't unless you do the entire property. So the city's not supposed to be able to annex next to an airport, or so we have them two conflicting codes. So hopefully we can just work it out and do a boundary agreement like we did with Charleston on the highway.
So in the county code, the county property, is that considered industrial there also? All this area?
I believe that, well, they've changed that. In the county, they haven't changed it, in the city, they have. This is, what is the latest on this?
All that I-2, or I-2.
Yeah, and so some of the highest density in residential will be here. They've approved some,
In industrial, you mean?
no, residential. They've approved high-density residential in that industrial zone,
In the I-2.
yes. And so,
Residential in the industrial?
yeah,
Like some kind of apartments or that kind of high industrial?
high density, very,
That's-
very high density.
That could definitely impact Southfield Road, couldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely could.
So, if Daniel were to take that in, would this be industrial?
I don't know, we'll have to look at the zoning and see what fits in our zoning.
Some of that's already zoned back in.
Well, the problem is that you have, all the frontages are RA5.
Right.
And so, as that goes through, you're not able to, you can't come off of RA5 and go into industrial. That's against the code. So if your industrial doesn't front a road, you don't get industrial. You have to go through residential.
I think we need to work on that one. I got some issues there.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, why have it be industrial if nobody
can't
can
get to
access it?
Right.
Either, that's something we ought to consider if we're in the move of taking that into our town. We should consider making it usable land for what it's zoned for.
I mean, that's the thing, that's why I sought out and bought that land, is I bought industrial property with the intent to be there, to put my stuff where it's supposed to be.
I think it would be great to,
And the way the zoning on my particular piece is, it's not even quite 5 acres. The total, approximately 3 of it is industrial, and the front 1 point whatever, or almost 2, is, I guess, residential.
And I'm sure this will come up as we move through this. When there's 2 zonings on a property, the planning commission has the authority to say which zone is used on the entire property. So if somebody was to get some property back there in the industrial and try and use it as industrial, that wouldn't be allowed.
That's what I'm intending to
There's one.
do. Yeah, I mean,
It's never easy, is it?
well, I mean, that's, you know, you want us out of our homes and home occupancy, so you go to the industrial zone, and you're telling me I can't be there.
So we'll be working towards that. We'll probably, I guess where we're at now is we need to initiate that to the council to move it forward. If you guys are ready to move that discussion forward, that's why it's on the agenda tonight. If you're ready to send in a recommendation to the council to move forward on this issue here, then that'll start the process. We just recommend they start, and then they have to decide whether they do.
Do we have requests for that to be annexed?
We do not have any request for that to be annexed.
So none of the property owners are saying anything? Why is it we're looking at that, Eric?
Just closing up, what's happening is Heber City is annexing those properties.
Okay.
And so we have Heber City moving this direction.
So we're just responding to action that Heber City is taking?
Yes. Yeah, this entire parcel now is in Heber City, and they've taken some of this into Heber City over here.
So does it look like Heber wants to take up to our boundary then, Heber City?
Oh, absolutely.
Hell, they don't act like they want me, I wanna go there.
Absolutely, they definitely do.
If I could figure out how, I'd go.
Matter of fact, in that discussion they had, they thought if that was ever developed up on that hill, that Heber City should have it so they have a say in how it's developed. So, I told them the same thing. Annex me in and I'll fight you from within. they didn't want me
On what hill?
up on the Sorenson property.
Oh, okay.
At the public hearing they had, that was the discussion they had. If it's gonna be developed, they want it in the Heber City so that they have a say in how
I
it's
see.
developed.
Okay.
And so the I-1 that the city has is around the airport. All this is I-1
Okay.
for the airport, so. We had some calls on this property right here. Joan and Wagner called and they're looking at making a change on that.
For annexation, don't we generally wait for the property owners to make a request?
We do. That's one of the ways that's what initiates an annexation. Council is the other way.
I know Coleman will want it. He's next to me, he's in the city.
So when you
Was
do
your
that,
property
you'll
owner
have,
Marsh Birches, is that what,
What's that?
on this map, it shows that, it says Marsh and Birch right
I'm
now.
next to it. I'm
Oh, you're
just
next to
north
it.
of it.
North of
And that's right at Heber City.
it. That, she got hers,
Okay. Marshall's on this side and Vernon's are on that side.
okay.
if you guys do this, initiate it, you'll have public hearings?
Yes.
I was gonna say for
Yeah,
all
we'll
those.
send out the notice to everybody, 500 feet, and whether they're in the town or not. And all the notices will go out, so everybody will be aware of it. I mean, the way it is right now, if somebody wanted to do, say, the Erickson piece, they could sell that piece to them and have them annex that into Heber.
Yeah, but they'd have to subdivide it first, right?
Yes, they'd have to subdivide it.
So how does
Because,
that?
because along this boundary,
Who do
it's
they
already
work with to
annexed.
subdivide it?
Probably the county. It's in the county.
Yeah, but the other half of the piece is not in the county.
That's right.
And then what size piece is left? And so you can end up with unbuildable lots on the
Good.
Daniel side.
Good. And in fact, we did along Daniel Road, they cut some of those in half. As they drew this line, they cut some of them in half and actually issued a lot of record certificates for half of those, the half that was left.
Hmm.
So it was quite interesting to find that out.
What's that?
Yeah.
Then what he's talking about, little pieces of like this, really. And then I think it's a good thing for us to meet up with Heber City, but we ought to probably make some kind of agreement that we can access this industrial through Heber City or work with them to make this usable.
The problem is Coleman owns the land between. You gotta get permission from him.
Well, there's other Ericksons and other ones along here.
Right.
But
As far as frontage, yeah, it's,
if we're gonna take it in and call it industrial,
Well,
we ought to
that's,
figure out a way to make it usable
It's called
industrial
that.
and not
It is
just be a
called
big problem like this over next to my property. An
Yeah.
undevelopable lot, and nobody can do anything with it, hardly at all, except
Right.
for have it be open space.
well, this was all done in 2000. Remember when the county changed all the code? We lost the Welch property we talked about over here. All the grazing went away in that zone change. If the town wanted tomorrow to change that, they'd run a public hearing and it'd change the zoning on that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's that. Planning commission would make the recommendation, the council would, I mean, this is our RA1 up here, and that came in annexed as RA1 when that was annexed to the city, so.
Yep. But that's just my feelings on it, that if we're gonna have it there, just figure out a way to keep it.
well, and that's what
And
we're
use
trying
it
to do in planning,
that
isn't it,
way.
is have zones that are proper for the proper thing.
Yeah. I mean, if we change that back to residential, we'd have no commercial or industrial property in the whole town.
Right, that's why I sought the piece out and bought it, I mean, I did. So we're not having the residential problem.
But you are residential in front,
That's what I
so
said.
that's the problem.
The only thing I gotta do is get to my own property, across my own property.
But you can't.
The way the code reads now, though, I can have up to 4 trucks at a home business, or 4 pieces behind your house that we're looking at, but yet I can't drive to the back that is zoned for it.
Yeah, it's not. You should have bought in Heber City.
Well, who are you to say that?
You're the one who said you wanted to go to Heber City. You
I'd
should have
love
bought
to
there.
go to Heber City with the piece I have.
Because we really want a residential area.
And I don't intend on changing their part as it is.
Well, as you can see, there will be issues
You want
all the way
commercial in your place, though?
All that, I'm down at the
It'd be easier
commercial,
just to
everything
let
around me is
Heber City come there
commercial.
and not do anything with it, but,
Yeah. Yeah, as it sits right now, I imagine that Heber City will continue to take in pieces. I mean, that was what the county said when they drew that line. We'll just leave this county and you guys can work it out. Well, I guess we're to that point, so if that's where you guys think we're at, then we need to send a recommendation to council. If not, then we'll just.
Okay. I'll move that we recommend to the council that they look into annexation of existing parcels along the north boundary.
Recommending to the council
To consider the annexation of existing parcels along the north boundary that are split between the town and the county.
Okay, have a motion, is there a second?
Existing property, parcels along the north boundary?
What was that again?
Hmm?
I didn't hear what you said.
Existing parcels along the north boundary?
Yeah, that are split between the town of Daniel and the county.
Okay, got it.
Okay, got a motion, is there a second?
I personally would like to look into this more before I send a recommendation. I'd like to investigate some more about this. I don't know enough about this tonight myself.
Okay, can't get a second, motion dies for lack of a second. Okay, is there another motion on this item? Item 5? You want it to appear on the next agenda? Do you want to continue it?
I think we should continue it. If we're not, we're not all in agreement, I think we should continue it to the next agenda.
Or do you not want it on it? So is that a motion for continuance?
Motion for continuance to the next agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Then we can get more input from more members of the board. I think we don't have enough input also.
Okay, I have a
And
motion
what
and a
happens-
second, discussion. Ready?
And what happens if we don't continue it? Where does it go? Does it just die or? is
Yeah,
it-
it just does.
But it can come back if we don't.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody wants to
Yeah,
bring it
you can
back.
bring it back.
Or we can continue it again next month if we decide to.
Again, I would just personally like to look into it more before I vote either way. I'm sorry. I think it's important to know more about it, and I don't.
Right. And, well, and the recommendation is the council initiates. And so what that does is sends it back here
Yeah.
to you guys.
I don't know that we need to continue it if it's gonna take more than just 1 month. I don't know that I would vote for that. But, I mean, I'm one.
Yeah.
Make whatever motion or second you guys want to.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
I'm
Of
curious
continuing?
which one,
Of
which
continuing.
motion we're going to
Continue.
continue.
Did it
Okay,
continue?
I'm all in favor of continue.
Okay, any opposed? We have one opposed, the motion fails. Don't have a passing vote. Need 4 for a passing vote. So that will not appear on the agenda next time as a continued item. The council may very well put it on the agenda.
Right, and that's fine if they do, you know,
Yeah.
we can look at it again. I just don't know if we're ready next month even, so.
Yeah. Okay, that takes us to item number 6, approval of the minutes, February 21st. Everybody have a chance to look over those? Any corrections or additions? You got them there, Mark? Did you have a chance to review them?
Was there just 3 items on that?
Yes. 3 pages, not items.
I just want to make sure I didn't leave one sitting on my finger.
I've done that. I've done that. Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve. Mark,
I approve.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Discussion. No discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Okay, item number 7.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank goodness we got a good vote on that one. Could have had to stay all night.
We go down and see.